You're not going to find some new approach to investing ever in your life. Investing is a very, very, very simple process. Now, of course, it's complicated by ourselves, and it's also complicated by the amount of noise that we hear out there in the media and in the world in general. One side is telling you that China is really powerful. The other side is telling you China is not so powerful. One side is telling you America is going to be stronger than ever, and the other side is telling you that America is going to fail. Well, there's one thing for certain. You have no control. But the only thing you have at times like this is faith in knowing that ultimately everything is going to work out. Now, we don't know what workout actually means. But if we go back through history, we have been through economic turmoil in the past. We've been through financial turmoil in the past. We've had stock crashes. We've had stock booms. We've had economic challenges. We've had economic booms. We've had issues with other countries. So it's very important that you just understand that the real key to investing is very simple. You have to invest. And there's an old saying, the best time to invest was 20 years ago. And the next best time to invest is today. The market closed today. I was down again. There's fear over tariffs. There's fear over politics. There's fear over China. There's fear over everything. People are going to lose jobs. The auto industry is going to crash. Everything's going to crash. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I have certainly made my own share of mistakes. You need to do your own research. And if you can, hire a financial advisor. Try to make sure that they're a fiduciary, so they have some responsibility to watch out for your money. But all I can tell you here is what I'm doing, and what I've done in the past, and what I haven't done in the past. And I've made a lot of mistakes in investing. Most of the mistakes I made were when I sold my stocks, when I sold my investments. I have a piece of property I sold 25 years ago. I still regret selling it. Every time I drive past it, I regret selling it. But it's okay, because that was a mistake that I learned from. I've also had stocks that I've sold and regretted. In 1997, I had Amazon stock. I think it was $40 a share. And I had a lot of it. And I sold it. I sold it because I had another important financial thing that came up, and I needed that money. Now, I got back in later and reinvested, but I lost a huge part of the upswing because of that. But do I sit around and beat myself up after that? No, I learn. So, if you've watched this channel at all, that I'm a big fan of Tesla. Now, I don't know where Tesla is going in the future. I can't guarantee where Tesla is going in the future. And frankly, neither can Tesla. Anything can happen. But on a daily basis, I study that company and other companies, but mostly Tesla. And I follow what's going on within the company. And, just a couple of months ago, Tesla stock was trading at $475 a share. Today, I think it closed today at $240 or $241, something like that. Don't quote me, but right around there. You know what changed with the company from 475 to 240? Absolutely nothing. Except they are farther ahead as a company than they were when the stock was at $4.75. Now, I'm going to venture to say that Tesla is not the only company that is farther ahead than where they were before all the fear, or let's call it FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, before all that came into this market. The fear index itself is at an all-time high. And if you listen to Warren Buffett, they say when people are fearful, you must be greedy. Now, like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm not going to tell you to go out there and buy all the stocks around you. But personally, I added 100 shares to my Tesla portfolio yesterday. And I added that 100 shares because I had money. And I had a deal that came through. I had some profits from it. And I said, what am I going to do with this money? I don't need it today. I don't need it a month from now. I don't need it 6 months from now. I don't need it a year from now. So as a company, I know that down the road, Tesla is going to be bigger, better, and more profitable. And like I said, there's always a variable in there. Anything can happen in the world. Nobody can guarantee you 10 seconds from now. Never mind 10 months, 10 years from now. But nothing has changed when it comes to investing. You buy good ETFs or you buy good companies. And that's what I'm doing. I'm investing stock in good companies that I believe are going to lead us into the future. And by the way, if a company like Tesla goes out of business, if a company like Nvidia goes out of business, if a company like Amazon goes out of business, your money was worthless anyway. Because if a series of things like that happen in the future, it doesn't matter if you have $100 or $100 million. You're screwed because something catastrophic has happened at that point. So my advice to you today is, if you want to go out and buy a new car, I think you're crazy. If you want to go out and buy a new house, I think you're crazy, because the ones you have are perfectly fine. Just maintain them, take care of them, don't get into any more debt. But if you want to invest in the future and have your money grow, there's no better time than today. Because a year from now, chances are, if we look at history, that company you bought, or that stock you bought, or that ETF you bought, or that index you bought, is probably going to be way ahead of where it is today. And if it's not way ahead, I can guarantee you it will be, at minimum, ahead. So don't let these people scare you. The world's not going to end today. The world will end one day. The world will end for all of us one day. But don't be fearful. Be brave and enjoy the ride.